Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
I'm bored.
We're going to review Foxpaw by Godot Games.
Yes.
Aw.
Oh, Tails. We have our playthrough up here. We played with 4 this time, so we had a full deep dive into how this plays with 4 players. We play tested with a little bit less. So now we're going to give you our review. Typical structure, we'll go over the rule book, we'll go over the storage, go over design, go over gameplay. Individually, have a discussion about what we like and don't like, and you'll get our scores, and then see how Bald and Board Games combined likes Foxpaw.
Yes, indeedy. If this is your first review, like I said, there's weights. If this is not your first review, we have changed up slightly again. Not the scoring, but how we're going to go about this. Instead of going one after the other, we'll have discussions entirely about a topic before moving on to the next one.
First off is storage.
Storage is my hatred of life. I hate it. And you know why? If you're watching my videos, it is a box where they give you the cheap little thing like this, and then a crap ton of bags to just put stuff in. It's wells filled with things in bags, and it's absolutely terrible. Everything fits, but I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I agree. And compared to other reviews we've done, you'll also see shortly the review of Unconscious Mind, which has similar.
Yep.
That one at least gives you a tray for the player pieces. This doesn't. Each bag is for player pieces. The disadvantage here is you have nice miniatures. Like here, has a top. That's going to start getting dinged up and scratched out. You have a bunch of cards. If cards go here, they're flying all over the place. If the cards go here, this is barely large enough to fit the cards. So it's squishing them together. It's going to damage a lot of the components in this box.
Yep. It is nice that they did give a divider here so you can have some separation between like minis and cards. But that's literally like the minimum that they did for us here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on storage? Cool. I give storage a 1.5.
I thought I was going to be harsh. I'm also giving it 1.5 out of 5.
No, no.
I thought you were going to hold it at 2. And I'm like, oh, I'll go 1.5.
Well, no, because the other one was at 2.
Yeah.
Nope. Alrighty, so next up is the rule book. Bang! Which includes both the rule books as well as this.
Yes. Real quick top. Well, let's go over this real quick. So the player aid, this is translated from German. So keep that in mind if you're watching this review video. There's a whole German section. But for the English side, very straightforward. It's just good. It's actually really good iconography. Goes over all the card types, resource types, and everything, and what the symbols are. So that's just overview of what it is. For the actual rulebook, it is a rulebook. We'll start with that. I will start with what I like. I like the fact that it shows all of the, and let me center this for you first. Boop.
Aww.
That's fine. It shows you all of the components. It goes over all the materials. You get into setup, and it very clearly says, setup number 1, you find the number 1 here, and through all the steps. So for setup in the beginning of the rulebook, I thoroughly enjoy it. It is very comprehensive. It goes over each thing and has a number associated to a picture.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the setup is very easy to understand in this, and regarding, of course, like you said, where things go and how to put them out. And after that is where we start getting into some muddy waters here as we start going over the deeper aspects of this is still really set up, choosing houses, even choosing the houses. It was slightly, like we had to read a couple times to kind of get, okay, this is what you're doing with the orphan thing. This is what the card means. But it was okay. And then it just kind of continues and gets worse and worse as you go on. Again, because it is translated from German into English here, as well as whatever other editions you may have gotten. So my first call out that I don't like is I wish they would have done more spot checking, more evaluating to make sure the translation came through properly, which would have really helped out.
Yeah, I thoroughly agree. There was multiple times playing this game where normally it's like, okay, we'll have a quick discussion. What does this mean? Or someone's like, oh, I'm going to do this. And you're like, oh, that's not really what it says. This game was far beyond that. If you watch our playthrough, there is literally a 15-minute section of us debating. Yeah. 2 of us believed it said one thing. The other 2 believed it said something else. We're debating what it meant. Later in the book, there was something else we're debating back and forth on what it meant, where that now affects gameplay because the longer you're trying to play the game and having breaks to figure out the rules, the less fun the game is to play.
Mm-hmm.
So this rule book has multiple chunks where it's just super confusing or super vague and doesn't give you enough information about how something happens.
Or like there's sections that contradict itself. Like in one section regarding like dueling or something like that, it says one thing, but in another section it says another thing entirely that makes the other thing sound wrong. And then like the Midnight Carnival area is another good example where there isn't much clarity, to where the way that I see it, it would be going down 1, 2, 3, like 4. Like when you put them down, you put them in that order, but it doesn't specify it specifically. It says in here in like the continued sequence, but the way it says it means it could sound like you
resolve
move it over in that way. And so it's just too ambiguous, and there's not enough like diagrams to assist. Like they give you occasional diagrams, and the ones that are helpful are the ones that didn't really need diagrams. They had for the ones that needed further explanation, there just wasn't.
Yes. One thing I hate about this rulebook is this page right here.
Mm-hmm.
This
is hilarious.
Is the player aid.
Yeah.
They put a picture of the player aid in the rulebook.
Yep.
There's no reason to. You already gave us separate player aids for that.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having that, you're having learning spells. Give us an example of learning a spell and how the resources are divided.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give us learning spells and then here's a picture of the player aid. Doesn't make sense.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, to that point, the first time we played this, we did the portion of the spells wrong. We were putting multiple of our crystals onto one spell. We did it correctly in the playthrough, ultimately. But there was another instance where we were debating back and forth on like the way that they say if you were to put your crystal there is written as if you're putting it there, but there's already one of yours there, so you get the star now. Again, just very, very confusing. And then because this is the rule book and this does count as part of that rule book and we normally go through, I hate this is just like this page. It's this. Like if you're giving us a player aid, don't make it some flimsy thing that's going to potentially get like ripped and wrinkled like that. Like you got to make it sturdy.
Anything else about the main rule book?
No.
All right. Thoughts on the Lost Roots expansion?
Lost Roots expansion adds a 5th player to this. So big art page for no reason.
Yeah.
Again, this thing also doesn't need to be this big. Like you have a story.
You want to flip the page? No one's reading that right now.
Is this
German?
There it is. Lost Roots expansion rules. There we go. The story. Also hate that. I hate that both languages are in one rulebook. Just like I ordered, like let me order the English and just send me the English one. But story, House Ever Grow, big page for literally nothing. It just tells you skill 1, skill 2, and then the extra wands that came in here. You didn't need to tell me in this about the wands that I clearly can see we have that replace the other ones. No need for that. The skill, sure, explain the skill like the other ones do, but you don't need the whole page for it. This, I think, is fine. Just the additional rules, solo mode with the person, and how you use Evergrow. And like that's literally it. So this one is actually very clear on how to use the character and everything. I don't think this one, from my recollection, suffered from the translation issue really. But it doesn't need to be this big. There's no point in having a full-size rulebook for the addition of a character, plastic wands.
Yeah, so this was my big complaint here. If you see Unconscious Mind, you'll see they have a normal-size rulebook, and then their expansion's a small rulebook, probably about this size. Page. I think you could have taken another one of these pages, on one side German, one side English, and given you all the information.
It could have been a page, yeah.
You could have literally had on here, here is the new house name, and here's a little story. Here's the exact spell card, which you already have a card for that explains it.
Yep.
And here's solo mode info on the back or whatever.
Yep.
So there was no reason for this giant rulebook. All right, so for rulebook scoring, again, usually I'll be a little lenient with translations. If the translations are like 1 or 2 words just misspelled or like weirdly worded, this was major gameplay impact, which is something I hate. I like to know what the rules are so we can just play the game and not have to argue 15 minutes in the middle of a game.
Yep.
I am giving rulebook, because of everything we talked about, a 1.5.
Hilarious.
Did you?
I also gave the rulebook a 1.5 for the same reason that storage got a 1.5, being that the storage works, it's just done poorly. the rulebook works. We're able to learn how to play the game and play the game. It's just done poorly to where it gets in the way a lot of the times. All right. Now we're moving into design. And I'm going to say at the top of design, before we get into discussion, a caveat. When I initially backed this game, I did not know that they used AI to create the artwork. I found out that after I'd received the game and people told me. So I verified that is in fact true. They did use AI artwork to generate the artwork for the board, the cards, pretty much everything. And then the artist did touch-ups on top of that. So that will factor for me, and it'll factor pretty heavily into my final score. But what goes into the score is more than just the artwork. It's also what everything is made out of, the components, the materials of the cards, all those sort of things. So for design here, I'll say off the top, right off the back, the artwork, I'm going to immediately just say no to, because AI artwork. I don't care if it looks cool. It was they leaned into AI and took away jobs from actual artists who could have been working and actually doing the majority of this and creating some concept art. So you lose out immediately on the artwork that's there. So I'll just jump right to the tokens. I like the wooden tokens. I think that these are really fun to have big chunky pieces you can move on the board. All the trackers. You know, at first I didn't think I was gonna like the money being wooden tokens, but honestly I like that it's the same as the rest. Just based on how you use it, it's fun to have these big chunky like tokens that you're constantly using. So love the tokens. Love the little crystals and everything as well that we have here. Very Fire Tower-esque. A lot of games are starting to use these now. The little wizards are fun, little meeple people. Those are cool. I really like the board setup, honestly. I think that's probably my favorite part about the design here is this board setup with your tracks that you have, and then how your cards slot onto the sides as you get like your brooms and your wands, and how your character up here sits right up there as well. That's I think my favorite part of the materials that we have here.
Yeah, so my thoughts on materials. I like how this board is set up. It's like a house crest shape. You have your wands on one side and your brooms on the other. You have your player on top. You have all your different skills that you're going up and down tracks on. What I will say for the wizards is a lot of games have miniatures or little, what do we call these? Meeples. What are they called? Meeples, yeah. Meeples. Not miniatures. The only thing I don't like about this is these are identical. So this is the exact same image, just colored differently. You could easily have skinned this slightly different. Not that much extra work to just make it a little bit more flavorful to the house and have something about it. They did do that for your familiars. They're called some equivalent. Creatures that you're utilizing. Where, hey, I have this one, Red has this one. They're different. They should have done that for the wizards as well.
Yeah, I agree.
While we're on this board, so I'll say one of my favorite things is how, even though ignoring the artwork of the cards, but how clear the text of the cards are.
Yes.
So I have two examples here. So this one, my creature, White Wolf, when placing, immediately get a resource. Resource is in bold. You can then go to your player thing here and be like, oh, what is a resource? Boom. Very clear of what I'm getting. For one of these cards, get a... and it's a card. It has the picture of the symbol of the card on it that matches. Cast a spell. And the spell symbol matches the spell symbol that's on the board. So the cards are very clear on what they do, what section of the board they react or impact with, what cards you get or have to discard. So it's very straightforward on what to do. And you're not trying to like understand, oh, wait, does this mean that resource or this resource? It's all straightforward. So that's one thing I do love.
Yeah, so something else that they do very well on here. We messed up in our playthrough for one of the icons, but all the iconography is very clear. And there's not too much of it. There's actually very little. Like, it all fits on the one sheet here if you need it. I never needed the sheet, and that's how clear it is. Like, you know what a mischief, card is and where to get it from. You understand what this means going up the track in hearts and stuff. I think with the iconography, the one thing I wish is they would have chosen, I like the idea of like this green up arrow, but I wish they would have chose something different, maybe just like a green number at the top or red number at the bottom, because there's a lot of times where I would see these and I had to like look real close, like, wait, is that 1, 2, or 3 of those
that one literally
arrows?
says 6.
Exactly.
Where nowhere else it says it.
Yeah, so that would have been a little bit better. And then just over on the edge of the board that we have over here, this random mischief card there, which we assume just means you take one by doing that. It doesn't actually say that anywhere in the rule book, but the icon's there, which is here, so it means you take one. And then my other favorite part is honestly this section over here. I like how they designed the year and like how you go through and know what you're supposed to do at the turn of each year, at the end of the year, where you have your challenges face down, like your Tri-Wizard Tournament. And then I thought the spellbook thing was very creative too. You have, one half of the spells here, that these are always the same, but then the cards over here are what changed. Instead of extending the board a bunch, you just have the cards out. It was great.
I agree, yeah. Any other thoughts on design?
Yeah, so the other thought on design is I like how they oriented the board, how you have like your sun areas here. Again, so you can do all those right away, and then how you have this like arrow that points you where you're supposed to go.
So you're going throughout campus and working area by area.
So you don't have to remember. Like, you start here, and then you go boom, 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 and it goes into the night. Like, that's a very fun design thing. It's like, okay, start your day off with a duel, go to class, buy some shit, learn some shit, and then you have to choose when you're going to bed.
Yep.
That's it, though. That's all I got for design.
All right.
Alrighty. Well, I said the AI artwork was going to weigh heavily into this because that's a lot of what this is, and it's not okay. So design gets a 1.5 from me as well.
All right. So the way I did this, obviously we do these both separately beforehand.
Yep.
Is in my head I put visual design at 2.5 out of 5 points, and then component design at 2.5 out of 5 to get my full out of 5 score. So it loses 2.5 for AI artwork for that side. For the other side, I thought it was really well done. Again, I like the text. Everything is very clear in iconography aspects on the board, what you're getting, what you're losing. I do agree where they had the number 6 here. They could have had 4-3-2 there in other spots to make it more clear. Multiple players, when we played this, had that. We're like, how many arrows are there? And that kind of gives away now your action, too, if you're leaning over the board looking. So that docked it a little bit, so I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 overall.
Gotcha. Boom, boom. All right, so we're going into gameplay. So how's it play, and what do you think?
So the quick overview of gameplay is you have 5 school years. So those are marked here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. During each school year, as a player, you're using your wizard's worker placement style to select different things. The only requirement is you must go in the night phase exactly once. With a wizard, you can use your other wizards however you want, as long as you can pay the cost to do the actions if there's a cost to pay. Your objective is gather resources, utilize the resources to cast spells, gather creatures that'll help you out, and then utilize cards to either benefit you or harm your opponent, all while preparing for these champion events or magical events that'll happen at the end of eras 2, 4, and 5. The interesting thing about how they score this is you earn stars throughout each year. At the end of year 2, whoever has the most stars will get VP, which is at the bottom of the track. And then the stars reset.
They essentially were pulling a like house situation like in Harry Potter, where the house with the most points at the end, because you all play as a different house, technically different colors.
So it's like, you play a house for 2 years, then whoever's winning moves ahead, and then you reset and try all over again. So it's like restarting that competition. I do enjoy that aspect because if you're someone at the end of year 2 that's struggling, you now are almost put on not an even playing field, but closer to even playing field to now kick it up year 3 and try to get back ahead and counteract whatever thing that happened. So that's the general overview of the game. So at the end of 5, whoever has the most victory points or whatever they're called in this game, that house wins.
Very, very basic worker placement, with the caveat being you're not really trying to get a lot of extra workers other than like occasionally getting creatures. Which was honestly kind of nice. It was nice not having to focus on trying to get more workers. It's like, okay, I always have my 4. I start off with my 4. The main reason to get the creature isn't even necessarily to have the extra action, but to have the ability that comes with the creature. So that was great to not have that calculation you have to constantly do.
Yeah. So I'll start off at the very beginning with my first point that I love. There's 3 things you start with. Number 1, you start with a player card. So I have number 2, Nick would have number 1. We shuffle those randomly, and they get distributed out. I love this idea. It tells you, hey, based on what numbers you got, here's your starting resources. Here is how much energy you have. Here's if you get a creature or not. Here's if you get a wand or a broom or what are the whatever these moon cards are. I can't remember the name.
Prophecies.
Prophecies, thank you.
Crystal balls, not a moon.
Oh, yeah. So I love this card, and even for the animal creatures and the wands and brooms, it gives you a 1 or a 2.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a player with the first wand here, you would choose a wand first. Then the player with the 2 chooses a wand. So I love the variety here where everybody's going to start with some things, but it's a little bit different based on the cards you have. So everyone's starting equal, but equal in different areas.
Yep.
So love that. Every player gets a skill card. So you always have skill number 1. You can unlock skill 2 based on how you started with your character.
Mm-hmm.
And then each of the characters have the ability, if you select their correct house, to start you boosted up a little bit in terms of your star values.
Yep.
So you get a decision right off the bat. Do you want to unlock your second skill? Do you want to commit to the correct house? Excuse me.
Wow.
For your player?
We just had dinner.
Yeah. So I love that right off the bat. It gives you some variety where every player is on the same playing field, but aiming a little bit of a different direction.
Yep.
To kick things off.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to go to the main board. So I started off...
Are you going to the...
Yeah, we'll go there.
Oh.
So my character, so I chose your house. So I have the star with the infinite sign, and then I got the first player card, which allows me to choose a broom. So I chose the one that has the 3 stars. So I start off always with 5. So every time this resets, I will always have a base of 5.
Yeah,
that's there.
Because of choosing the greenhouse, the orphan house, I do not get the start based on my player. I do get the start based on my wand of 1.
Yeah, and I do enjoy that balance to where either you're going to have a bunch of resources or you're going to start high up on here or yada yada, like more stats, whatever it is. That is great. I completely agree with that. I like that you get to choose like between your individual people, and the people themselves don't give you any extra benefits other than the house that you potentially want to align with. The benefit really comes down to the house more so than the actual characters. The characters are just kind of, they all give you either 2 that infinite VP and 2 extra money, or they give you your extra skill based on your house and what you choose. And I like that you can only get the second skill if you choose to be an orphan at the beginning.
Yes.
It's not something you can unlock later in the game. Again, another thing you don't have to worry about doing while playing the game, which I think...
Either have or you don't.
Exactly. I think that is absolutely wonderful. With the playing the game, I like that there are these sections over here where once you put down your person, you immediately gain the benefit. Where these over here, you're being more strategic in placing them down to do when it comes to your turn in the second portion of the action phase there. So I like that those are immediate and those are you wait for. I think that's a fun, again, twist on worker placement. Typically, they're all put it down. Once everyone's out, go around, do them all in order. This is like, no, once you put it there, get it. Because this could determine what you do over here drastically.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Obviously, you have your resource section here. Mm-hmm. So getting the different resources, those are very straightforward. You have this section here, which is gaining a creature, gaining prophecies. So you may not know where you want to go over here until you got that creature to see if you can get the benefit you want, or until you got a prophecy that could give you a boost, or some action that can help you out. Down here, it gives you health, or stamina, or whatever it's called in this game. Reputation? Reputation.
I think reputation.
It allows you to change the teacher. That could play a massive impact on how things go over there.
Yep.
Switch up the spells.
And then do one.
Change the dueling order if you're playing with 3 or 4 players to determine who's dueling. And then at the very bottom there is steal the mischief cards from other players. So I do thoroughly love that. This allows you to prep yourself for all of these actions. You don't have to put wizards here first, then over there. You can do them whatever order you want, but you just know that these won't resolve until the end of the round.
And a good balance they have here, too, on these 2 and then these 5 down here is if you go there, because they're a little bit more powerful than just getting resources, are getting the creatures and stuff, you actually end up picking up these danger cards, right? Goddamn.
Darkness.
I always do that. Darkness cards. You messed that up. I messed this up. Darkness cards, which will most likely hurt you at the end of the game. They range from 1 to 3 in value. Whoever has the highest total ends up losing points at the end of the game. They also force you to do certain things in a duel, which we'll touch on in a moment. But I like that you're forced to take these, and then based on the teacher, you either don't have to take one if they like you, they're like turning the blind eye, like Snape and Malfoy, or it's going to make you take an additional one, like Snape and Harry. So that's a very fun thing that there's teachers who like you or don't, and so the manipulating them, that's why that ultimately matters, because you can manipulate it, take a hit, and then not to worry about it later on.
All right. Oh, go. Yeah.
Oh no, that was my point. I brought this up.
Yeah. So I have one more positive, and then we'll talk about negatives, at least on my side after that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
My last positive is I thoroughly like the kind of the balance where there is a bunch of options. So as a player, you can focus on getting strength and knowledge, which allows you to buy better wands and brooms. Those wands and brooms will give you extra of those star values.
It also gets you points at the very end of the game.
And if you get to the very top of 8 on either one, you can get VP at the end of the game, which the max VP to earn is 18. So getting that VP is crucial.
Yeah.
On top of extra star value. So you're starting ahead of time, or you're starting each round a little bit ahead on the star value track. So I thoroughly love that option. You have spells option, which give you a lot of stars and give you, for some of them, like if you do the darkness spell or midnight spell, whatever it is, you can get mischief cards, which help you out. You have the ability at the end of round in the night phase to choose to go to sleep early, and you're going to get a bunch of stamina and potentially some reputation, or to go to darkness, the Midnight Carnival, to get some stamina. You're going to get a mischief card and whatever benefits or lack of benefits potentially on the Midnight Carnival card. So I do love the thorality. That's not a word.
Wow.
Thoroughness. The advanced amount of options.
He loves how thorough.
Yes. The significant amount of options you have on different pathways. Similar to other games, you don't have to commit to one thing. So if someone puts something down, like he has this here, I'm like, well, I can't really get 3 strength anymore. Okay, let me go try something else. So,
but he could go in front of me, preventing me from getting 3, and he could end up getting 2 potentially. Yes. But then it's like also it has like a almost like a poker feeling to it at times, especially for these areas up here, because you don't necessarily want to go there right away, because then that leaves it open for other people to go there and block you. If anything, you want to hold off on these as much as possible, wait for someone else to go there, and then you snipe the spot right in front of them to stop them from getting anything and you to be able to get more. So that was a fun thing, yeah.
So thoughts on thorality?
Thorality? No. I think what this does really well is that aspect of not having to really lock into one way to get points. There is clearly a way that is most beneficial, I think, when looking to get points. But in the games we played, nobody was like up at 15 and back at 5. Like it was always a very close game within 5.
I think the end score between first and last was 5 points total.
Yeah, which the tides could turn purely with this track up here and these that go on over there. Yeah. I think. Try to think there's another positive before we drop into the. I think gameplay wise, I love the creatures. I think that's another favorite part of mine. Is I really like the creatures. I like the different abilities they give you. I like that they're temporary as well. Yes. So you use them and they go away. They re-get them. I think that's great. And there's a nice variety of them. They all kind of do. Again, it's very balanced. They all do a good thing across the board. There's one that'll give you hearts, one will give you strength, one this, that, and other thing.
Whatever,
Switch, make other people give you resources, which is great. I think my last very positive thing that I like is I do like one aspect of the tournament, and that's the fact that there is this 3 tournament thing, and that there's more than 3 cards.
Yep.
There's like 7, I think. And so you randomly put out 3, and then when it comes, you flip them over, and then you find out what tournament is there, or you can peek at them ahead of time. I like that you can peek beforehand by putting your person here, doing an action. You can see what's coming, so you can prepare. And these can range from needing strength to needing knowledge to needing resources. Most of them have you use energy in some way, so energy is always important.
Yeah.
But that variety is a lot of fun, and again, can be what really turns the tides at one point or another.
It also has the fun aspect where if you're playing a 3-player game, only 2 players can peek.
Yep.
If you're playing a 4-player game, there's the other side of this game board, 3 players can peek. It gives that aspect of, oh, we know what's going to happen. Player over here doesn't know.
Yep.
But we don't want to make it too obvious. I'm like, oh, we're hounding these type of resource.
Yep.
Because then they're going to know what to do. So you got to peek and then think strategically, how do I prepare for it?
Yeah.
Without too early giving away what it is.
Yeah, there's a moment where there's one that the 3 of us peeked at that you weren't able to peek at.
And I gave it away. They gave it away.
They did. I was just jacking up on every resource. And I was like, okay, I'm going to jack up every resource and just get these as high as possible. That way you don't know if it's this, that, or whatever.
Yeah, they gave it away that it was this.
Yeah, because they went for hard on the thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, it didn't help me, but I know what I don't need to worry about now because I can't win it, so I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yep.
All right. Is that your...
So then with that is when using your energy, you have your dial, you choose how much you want to bet. So I like that it's not... There's one where it's purely based on how high energy is, but most of them are actually betting energy. So if you know the odds of you winning with the rest of like these cards that potentially come out, where it could say energy, or like say one says energy, you know that this is the other card that's in there, which I'm at 0, maybe you're at 6, there's no way I can beat him. With that, then I would probably go in, probably bet like little to no energy, so not to waste it, knowing I'm most likely not going to win the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, dip into the negatives?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So first I'll say, before I dip into negatives too hard, the game overall is fun. We enjoyed it. Like I said, there's a lot of selection. I do like the choices.
Yes.
There's a few things. Some of it's rulebook related. Which we covered already, but there's a few things that to me are significantly unbalanced where it can really cause you to just lose interest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to discuss this as if this was a 4-player game. That's how we played on stream. So you'd have 4 players here. The only main difference is there's going to be another circle here for dueling. You're going to have a 3rd peak thing here, and then there's going to be like 4 choices on these instead of 3. Instead of 3. Yep. So that's the main difference. All the symbology, all of the action availability.
The way
is
it
the
plays
same.
is exactly the same.
Yes. So my negative. This is a Magic game. It's about their dueling. I hate how dueling works in this game.
Yep.
There's 2 major issues I have. Well, 3 major issues, as he picked that up, because that's the 3rd one. So first...
You have an issue with the wand?
How the action gets... I guess we'll get there in a second. So 3 pieces of this dueling. I'm going to include all in one set. Number 1 is, so you have this card here. If you're playing a 4-player game, these 2 houses start up here. The other 2 would start on the circles. That part's fine. No problem. I like the variety. Like, you don't know who's starting there until the beginning of that era. So you can't really prepare to be ready to duel because you don't know if you're going to be dueling or not.
Yep.
The thing I don't like is this game, for the darkness cards, is very duel heavy. So to get rid of darkness cards, you need to duel and duel a certain way. There's only 1 space on this game board that allows you to swap two of these markers. So you can swap 2 here, you can swap however you want there. Yeah, just do that. With that in a 3-player game has a reason.
Yeah.
But not in a 4-player game. There is mischief cards that have that symbol. That's a random, you're playing luck there to get that card.
Yep.
I don't like how that's the only option I have. So I have to take a darkness card to be able to even attempt to duel if I'm not already in the circle. Or hope someone else brings me in, which is highly unlikely.
Or 2 if the teacher hates you.
Or 2 if the teacher doesn't like me, correct.
Or 0.
Maybe, yeah.
It's a net 1, though.
But in the greenhouse, it's always -1. The greenhouse is always -1,
right.
never 0 or 2.
That's right.
So I don't like that at all. Where I have 1 singular option to get myself in the duel. Because no one else is going to bring me into the duel.
Right.
Second thing I hate about dueling is you have these mischief cards. 3...
Nope. You missed on that.
I did.
Darkness cards.
Darkness cards. 3, 1, and 2. Yep. That's how we're counting now. If you see here, 1 points this way, 2 points that way, 3 points up. Every single 3 points up. Every single 2 points that way. Every 1 points this way. These are your 3 actions. You can use your wand. You can point and attack. You can point away.
Share.
Or you can point up to share. Not share. This was hold.
Oh, yeah.
I hate this. If I happen to duel and want to get rid of a 3 value, because you do not want high values here, I have to share. Well, on this card, the only time you ever get a benefit from sharing is if both players share. So I think it's extremely unbalanced where these should be varied. So 3s should be all 3 symbols. Should be cycled within the 3s, the 2s, and the 1s. So you don't know, oh, someone has a 3, they're going to share.
It shouldn't even be.
And it almost guarantees if you have a bunch of 3s, you're going to attempt to share every time. So, okay, I can get rid of a card, but now I'm never going to get resource rewards here. Yep. Or I want to attack or do these, I'm going to get resource rewards, but I'm not going to lose my high number cards. Third and final thing, and I'll let you discuss it, is I don't like necessarily, okay, I point, I go up, I go like this. Because it tells you like, oh, close your eyes and do it, sure. And I count 3, 2, 1. But even like we counted 3, 2, 1, and you just got to do it. It seems like old school rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Almost. I think there's like a better way. Like I wish it was like a dial. Like choose a dial and point or something. Like I understand the wand aspect because of the magic. You already used AI artwork. This is not saving you.
Not wrong.
I wish it would have been much cleaner and to me much more fair to have like a little dial or a thing where I selected which of the 3 I'm going with. Now no one else knows, but it's selected there. So you can't like, because it was part of our playthrough, was like almost like where the player was like halfway here and then pointed. And it's like, well, were you already pointing here and then you changed it because I pointed this way or not?
That was only your thing.
I think it was, but I still think it could happen in other players' games too.
Yeah,
where like you try to like switch out and be like, oh, I'm going to go here, but no, really, I'm going to attack you.
Yeah.
So I hate all of dueling.
So dueling, I like the idea of it. I think they overcomplicated it. I understand the balance of this top part where, okay, the 3s have the share, so most likely they're both going to share and they'll get a benefit for doing so if they both do it. Sure. I don't think the darkness card should have had symbols on them at all. I think the darkness cards, you only get rid of them if you win the duel. I think there should have been an actual winner of the duel. It's a fucking duel. So get rid of this and make it more akin to rock, paper, scissors, where attacking beats share, sharing beats holding back, and holding back beats attacking. Because you're like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, just do it like
that. It's almost defensive, yeah.
Yeah, keep it, or maybe that, defend. Yeah. It's instead of hold back, it's defend.
Attack, share, defend.
Exactly. Just do that. Boom, boom. So there's always a winner. And the reason why I say that is because there's betting cards. So people who are not dueling can place bets, which this created a big moment of debate, argument, and confusion in our game, which is great for you to watch, very entertaining. But it's needlessly confusing. Again, partially because of how the rulebook explains it, where if this is purely, who do you think is going to win? Like, just give us a card that has, so there's already 3.
Pictures.
Just 4. Just 4, 4 cards.
5,
you know?
Yeah, each 5.
Well, 4, the one that's not being used.
Sure, yeah.
Just whatever, you know? And then you choose who you think is going to win. Maybe there's a way where you can actually bet something, so you're actually betting, like energy or whatnot, to where you're like, okay, I think so-and-so is going to win, and maybe you can choose with this action. You know? It's like a little parlay thing. You know, it's just, that make it more interesting in the betting phase, and it'd make it more, like, just there being a winner would be so much more rewarding. It simplifies it, but it would make it more interesting for people doing it also. I like that they have wands where you do this thing. You know, I think that's where whoever's playing, you have to kind of police, like, if somebody, like, pointed, like, no, you lose. Like, if you do that, you lose. Like, that's why they have you close your eyes and do the 1, 2, 3 thing, which makes sense. But you're going to have someone at the table that's going to get stuck in the eye with this thing at some point. So, yeah, I think they made this too complicated. Should have simplified. Let there be a winner. Let the betting be more like actual betting on who's going to win and how in some way. And then let there be a consequence if 2 people, you know, attacked each other, there's no winner. There's purely just a consequence. Maybe they each get a darkness card in that moment. Whatever it is, something.
And I think like, there should be an option not to bet, because I think for betting, you should have to like pay energy.
Right,
or
exactly.
whatever. Like you have to, like if you bet in real life, I had to put something up to make this bet.
Maybe you can literally bet with anything.
Sure.
And if you win, like so if I bet with this and I win, then I get whatever that ratio is. If I bet energy, strength, knowledge, maybe those 2 you can't bet with, but like reputation.
No, I agree. Exactly. You have to pay a cost up front to get double the reward later.
And so one more thing on dueling that I wish they would have put in here is you have spells that you're learning. Why not make these spells you're actually learning.
So
and when you learn them, you take this card, and then this action of attacking, holding back, whatever, that action's actually tied to the spells you have.
Yeah.
And then if you choose to play a spell, you can choose to obviously do that action or not. But if you do the action, you will get the benefit on there for whatever. Like that would make it so like you're learning spells.
Yeah.
That would make it like you could literally have this greenhouse, which is Slytherin, essentially, could have a spell that maybe they start with innately to where if they win a duel, like essentially it's what your thing is, but like when you win a duel,
skills,
you give like your darkness cards to people like Avada Kedavra, like on them, you know? That would make this moment way more interesting over here for learning spells and for dueling. Okay, so I kind of touched on another negative of mine, which was like the spell thing. It's great, you're getting points, but beyond that, it doesn't serve a purpose. Beyond getting the star points, which you ultimately lose. So it's good to push to do those to get hopefully the bump of the reward. But again, I wish that there was an actual spell that you were learning, similar to like how you get creatures and they have abilities. But my main other negative with this is the tournament and this track. Yeah. This track is scored after the tournament. So if, for instance, here in 4, right, or even here with the 1, if you purposely throw the tournament, you get 2 stars, which could put you in the lead,
or extend your lead,
or tied for first, or extend lead, whatever it is, right? And then you get 3 victory points for being in the lead, where the person who wins here only gets 2 victory points. That the winner, like they don't need to vary it this much. It should just be like, I understand them trying to do like, okay, it gets better as you go on, but if this is always the same, then first and second place on these should always be 3 and 2 victory points in some way. Because if third place is able to bounce ahead, at least for these last 2, like this one here is 3, 2, and 1, like that, and 2 stars as well. But even still, like giving stars, I think on the 3rd spot itself should not be the case. Don't ever give stars down here. We give stars in the 2nd spot maybe, but the 3rd spot shouldn't get any stars. Like you suck, you lose. I'm sorry. Like no participation trophies. Like you get maybe like get mischief cards and get prophecies. That's going to be your fail forward mechanism to where now, okay, we set you up for success next round. Don't give them success here because they lost. That really pissed me off a couple times. If you can't tell.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that point. The 2 pieces. One, I wish there was little tiles that randomly got placed down.
Oh, hell yeah, that'd be cool.
Instead of knowing this is exactly what happens. Because for me, in round 1, I maybe don't even care about getting first place. I'd rather get 2nd or 3rd because I'm going to get that prophecy card. So if I know I'm ahead up here, to your point, okay, I'll get 3 and a prophecy card. Or maybe 4 and a prophecy card.
Yep.
Cool, I'll take that. And now I have a prophecy that can benefit me next round.
Yep.
Whereas if you're here, you're going to get VP. Cool. But now you don't have any prophecy cards, so you're going to start a little bit lower on the scale the following school year. So I do agree that it is kind of crazy that this can just jump you way up ahead. I also think it should be more randomized.
Yeah. Anything else?
Gameplay? Not about that topic, but 2 last things about gameplay.
Go for it.
Number 1, these teachers. It seems, at least in my perspective, playing this game a few times, that adding the Lost Roots expansion, which is the greenhouse, was kind of like a semi-afterthought, and they didn't really thoroughly incorporate into this game.
Yep.
There is, when Nick here, as the Red House, can choose to be an orphan. No problem. He doesn't get the 2-star bonus, but he's an orphan. The Red House is on these teacher cards. He still is impacted by this because that's his house. I wish that this incorporated the greenhouse. It doesn't make any sense that the green is always a net 1.
You just needed two more cards we put in there. One card to give him +1, another card to give minus.
Yeah, and then add them to these 2. Yeah, because even you just add them to this card, even if they're not playing the game, it's still on the card. That's fine. So yeah, I think green needed to be added into this. It got weird where I had cards that allowed me to change the order of these teachers.
Or not, they didn't need to even add them in there, but like just say like everywhere else that green counts as the other symbol.
Oh, we just did that we house ruled that.
Just like, come on.
But to make it easier to understand everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so green here, we house ruled to say, oh, whatever color we're not playing with becomes green.
No, in their rule book it says that.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
I don't think it says for this. I think it just says one. But yeah, so I wish they would just make it easier to add the greenhouse in there.
Right, that goes into the rulebook score on why.
Yeah, so that was one issue I had with the teachers. You agree with that? Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I think with the teachers, there either should have been more of them, or as teachers were used, they just went to the bottom of the deck instead of coming out. Which
so again, end game, you can really switch things up because you have more options.
Right, so you can bring out the teacher that like it because the teacher's not getting fired each year. So
yeah, they're just
why discard them? Which I.
Well, Harry Potter, they transition a lot of people.
I think it says that in the rulebook as well, that you get rid of them after
you do.
Year. But
it
yeah,
says,
like, don't do that. Just keep them there. Like, why? Yeah.
The last thing I have, unless do you have anything else?
No, it's a teacher.
Or no, in general.
No.
Okay. Last thing I have is this star track. I understand the idea. Hey, focus on getting a bunch of stars, then you'll get VP accordingly, and whatnot. I think how you start with stars,
like this here.
Like this here. This is round 1. We haven't even played a turn yet in the game.
I'm ahead by 4.
And he's ahead by 4. I think there's a distinct disadvantage to certain players. Because if we look here, these are the level 3 and 4 wands and brooms.
Yeah.
If he has a broom with 3. He gets up, he gets this broom. That's now 7, plus the 2 from his person. Every round, he's going to be starting with 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, well, I have a wand for 1. I can get a wand for 3, and I start at 4. But now I have to catch up and get 5. If you look at the game board, 3 plus 1 if you're the first one to do it. 2 plus 1, 5. You can get some stars a few other places. You get 1 star. Mm-hmm. It takes you so much more effort if you're starting way behind on this to jump up and then get into first place. Where that should be time where I'm focusing on resources to do other things. I'm focusing on building my strength and knowledge. So I don't like how you can start so drastically apart just from the beginning of the game by how a random card gave you something.
No, I agree. I think for that, either everyone should start with a wand or no one should start with a wand. And the same thing goes to their broom.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be, one person can start with this, one person can start with a creature. Like, no. Like, just make it to where everyone starts with a wand and a broom.
You can start
right?
level.
You go into school and you start with those. Like, that is your base. And like these are all very valuable to have that are there. So you choose in reverse turn order maybe. And then you do the same thing for those as well. You choose in reverse turn order for the broom. So you always have 1 and 1 at the beginning. And then from there you have to get your second one.
Yeah, I agree.
And upgrade it. I think that would be way more beneficial, especially because on these you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where it gets more expensive to get any of those later in the game goes. So if the first 2 rounds you're focusing on doing all of this other stuff, and each round 3 you're like, oh shit, I need something. I need one of those. Now it's going to cost you 3 money and 3 knowledge to get a level. Well, 3, the level those are gone.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So I also think it's something dumb that those go away when the 3, 4 roll over. Like, no, keep the 1s there. Just now you can access the 3 and 4s and 5s.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of the other ones. So that's kind of an issue that I had. I also had an issue that the fact that you can actually because I was thinking about this as casting spells, but even the fact you can learn spells without having a wand, I think is dumb. Like, you should be required to have a wand to learn any spell, and then the specific wand to learn this spell down here. Which is the
makes
case.
Sense. I agree.
And the rest, yeah. And then even the broom, I feel like should have had another
impact
in here somewhere. Whether it was like when you do like this action here, where you're on the field, like maybe instead of this just being a spot you go to, this is another mini game sort of thing, kind of like
or it impacts dueling because you can now fly above your opponent.
Maybe something like that, exactly. So that all would have been way more beneficial. And then that would have helped, I think, with the balancing issue of like the stars you start with and don't start with, because everyone at least has a choice, and it put everyone within 1 or so of each other starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So for gameplay, we know that's a lot of information, but there's a lot of things going on. So overall, I still enjoyed the game. We played with 3 players in tests. We played with 4 players in our playthrough. It was a close game, so there is a good balance aspect, which is important.
With everything considered, there is, yeah.
The
issues that we just harped on a lot are really isolated, areas and moments within the larger zeitgeist of the game. And then wish list things that we wish were different that ultimately don't break the game. Like, that doesn't break the game, not having those be that way. This doesn't break the game either. You just know, okay, I need to get those, as soon as I can.
So my score for Foxpaw gameplay is a 3.5.
Boom, boom, boom. All right. And my score for Foxpaw is a 3.5.
That's the first.
As well. Yeah,
it's the second, technically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that...
Oh, no, I had a difference in there from you. I had one difference, right?
Yeah, you had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot for the gameplay that's fun, but then there's a lot that could make it better, gets in the way. So we'll just quickly go over each of the 4 categories, tell you our combined score, go over one quick sentence about it, give you the final score, and let you know how does Foxpaw fall on the grand scheme of things for Bald Board Games. So starting things off, storage. I gave it a 1.5. Bald gave it a 1.5. We hold at a 1.5. You saw, it's a box. It has a little divider, has a bunch of bags. It's not good. Cards are going to get damaged as it's moving around. Tiles and pieces are going to get damaged. Yep. Rulebook, I give it a 1.5. Board give it a 1.5. Bald Board Games gives it a 1.5. It is a translated rulebook, but it does not give you the excuse of being lazy and not making sure the translation comes through properly to make sure the game can be played without getting into arguments while playing because of your ambiguity in how you say how to play the game or your contradictions. Yeah.
Design. I gave this a 2. Bald gave it a 1.5. We always round down if you didn't fully qualify, so it holds at a 1.5. Big thing, it's AI artwork. We don't approve of it. We didn't know buying the game.
Nope.
The components have some quality to them. Like, the components are kind of cool.
Yeah.
But all the artwork, if you just had an artist do it, you would have had a much better score.
It's true. For gameplay, I gave it a 3.5. Board gave it a 3.5, so Bald Board Games gives it a 3.5. There is a lot that is very fun about this and the way it plays. It is fun to play in general. The gameplay is fun until you get to certain moments where it's like, okay, now I have to do this in this way. And that kills the joy, the spark for that moment. But then it gets back to the fun. So because there are those moments that really kill the joy in it, we had to drop it down right below that must-play score of gameplay.
Yeah.
All right. So for our final scores, I give this a 2.
And my final score for Foxpaw is also a 2 out of 5. This is one of those scenarios where gameplay was a 3.5 for both of us, but we do weight it at 40%. Yep. All the other things were so low that it pushed it all the way down to a 2. So Bald Board Games collectively gives Foxpaw by Godot Games, right?
Godot,
not Godot. Yeah. Close.
Almost.
Godot Games, a 2 out of 5, which makes it
a Bald Board Game certified don't play. Which sounds weird to say because we talk about how much we enjoyed playing this. We got a 3.5 in gameplay. But the real reason why you're not getting a just okay or must play is because your rulebook is terrible and the AI artwork that you use for the design. Those two things brought this down. This would have survived and most likely gotten a Bald Board Games must play if, or at least a just okay, if those two things were better.
Yeah. Storage is a low rating. Like, if you just have bad storage, everything else is great, you're probably going to get a minimum of just okay.
Yeah. Storage is only 15% of the score.
Yeah. But this, multiple things, multiple failures. Yep. We had high hopes for it. We're like, hey, we like wizarding and magic, and it had potential, gameplay-wise, to be great. Yeah. But
45% of this was rated out of 1.5. The other, and then the other 40% for gameplay is 3.5, and you had another 1.5 there.
I was like, what kind of math?
I'm talking about the rulebook. I'm talking about the rulebook and design. The rulebook and design equates to 45%. So both of those being low scores is what dragged it down ultimately. That's what killed gameplay because it outweighed gameplay in that moment. So to say with Foxpaw, It's a don't play. We cannot advocate for you buying something that used AI artwork and tried to trick people. If you have it, don't get rid of it. You already have it. You know, if you enjoy it, just like we do. But I can honestly say, if a different wizarding game comes out that is similar enough and fixes the issues we talked about, I will most likely be replacing Foxpaw.
Yep.
Sorry to say. But thank you for joining us here at Ball of Board Games. We gave a review for Foxpaw by Godot Games. I'm Ball.
On board.
And we will see you in Hogwarts. Not here. We're going to Hogwarts.